All right, so now that we've read the story, The Dog Newspaper, we're going to talk about the fact and opinions within the story. Remember, a fact is something that can be proven true. It often includes dates, titles, things like that. So numbers, think of numbers. Usually if it has something like that, it is a fact. If it's telling you about your feelings or your opinion towards something, well, then it is an opinion. So what you're going to do is read each sentence down below, and then you're going to determine if it's a fact or an opinion. If it's a fact, you will delete the or O. If it's an opinion, you will delete the F-O-R, okay? So let's look at the first two together. The author began her writing career at age 10. Is that true? And can that be proven? Can we prove that by reading the passage? Absolutely. So we would say this is a fact. Let's look at number 2. The neighbor's answers did not lead to interesting stories. Is that an opinion or a fact? You may agree that the stories were not interesting, but you can't really prove that they weren't interesting. Okay, that's an opinion. That's how somebody believes or feels about their stories. Maybe to them, their stories were interesting. So you would delete this and make this an opinion. You will do the same for the following questions. When you get down to the next slide, you're going to come up with your own fact and opinions. I would like you to pick at least 3. How many? 3. Please do not use facts and opinions that were on the previous slide. The other thing I want you to do while you were reading the story, while you reread the story, is I want you to come up with tricky words. Even if they're not tricky to you, like you can say them perfectly okay. And maybe you know what all of the words mean in this story, and that's fine too. I want you to come up with then interesting words, okay? Interesting words that you don't use often in your speaking or writing, and these may be words that you'll want to try to start including in your own speaking or writing. So again, those tricky words go here, or if you know all of the words, then come up with some interesting words of your own, okay, that you're reading in the story. The final slide for today's assignment will be analyzing and evaluating the text. When you analyze something, you pick it apart to help you understand it, okay? So while you're reading, you're analyzing, you're stopping and you're asking yourself questions about the characters, about what's happening in the story to help evaluate your understanding. And evaluate just means judge. It's just a fancy word for judge. So as you're reading, you're picking apart the story, you're asking yourself questions, and you're saying, do I understand what's happening? Can I make a prediction of what might happen next? That's how you're evaluating your understanding of the story. If you don't understand it, then you should always go back and reread. So as you're analyzing and evaluating, I want you to think about what might be the author's message. So what is the moral of the story? What does the author want you to learn? Remember, when we're determining the theme of a story or the author's message, theme, the message, we do not use the characters' names. We use things like, it's important to be kind to everyone. Okay, it's important to have determination, or friendships are important. Things like that. Those are examples of themes, not Johnny is nice to Timmy because they're friends. Okay, that's not a theme or a message of a story. That is a detail about a story. So you need to be broad with your answer. You need it to apply to more than one story. Okay, and then answer this question. How can an animal be a friend? When I think of this question, I think back to the story Because of Winn-Dixie that you read in 4th grade. How can an animal be your friend? Okay, just like in this story, it's a little different, but how can an animal become your friend? All right, and then you'll judge the story. 5 stars meaning it's an excellent story. 1 star meaning it's pretty bad, okay? Someone who is interested in don't write newspapers or don't write dogs, but I mean, if you do write newspaper or dog here, someone who is interested in newspapers would enjoy this story because it's about newspapers? No, I don't think so. That's not a 5th grade answer. Come up with something deeper, okay? So you will complete these 3 slides today, the fact and opinion and the analyze and evaluate slides. If you have any questions, please let me know.